It is Monday night, and we are live once again as In the Zone Racing brings you live coverage of the Elite Performance Industries Late Model Shootout Series tonight. It's round number 11, the second round of the playoffs for the Elite Model Shootout Series. And tonight we bring you live coverage of the Shock I-12 Racing Daniel Williamson Memorial 126 from the Martinsville Speedway. I am Jeff By Jr., joined by Bill Tomer in the ITZR broadcast booth. And Bill, 30 drivers set to do battle here tonight. Even as the season wears on, the car counts stay really high.
Yeah, we've been really fortunate, Jeff. I think we both agree that it's been really fun to watch the car counts stay where they are. And wow, I can't even believe we have 30 cars again in the server tonight. So it's going to be a great race. We're going to start them all. And no B-dash. No B-dash tonight, Jeff. I'm excited.
Yeah, we're going to go straight from qualifying into a warm-up session. So 5 minutes for qualifying tonight. It's going to give them a little time to kind of spread things out and try to maybe predict the weather a bit. I think you're going to see some guys wait till the end of this session to go out and make their laps, and then maybe some drivers are going to go straight out on the racetrack, where I see like Josh Cottle right now headed straight out. He feels pretty good about his chances, and he's going to just get out on the racetrack and lay down a lap.
Yeah, Josh Cottle was your International Short Track Racing Association Quick Time Award winner last week. So let's see if he can try to do that again in the 13 car. Different looking car this week, Jeff. Got a new paint scheme on that car.
Yeah, a little less green on it, but still looking pretty good in the number 13 car. And as you said, last week, quick qualifier, no inverts in these final 3 races of the season. And right now, 2 races to go. Josh Cottle, first lap on the board, 18.614, a little bit quicker than his practice speeds. That's pretty good. It's 18.614. Corey Bigley, second fastest so far. And then he gets bumped by Peyton Howell. Peyton Howell with an 18.694 for second fast.
Matthew Barkhouse goes P3 in the 15 car. Still out on the racetrack. Aaron Abendroth will go P5. Rick Rube jumps up to P5.
Corey Bigley improved his second lap. Now he gets bumped by Chris Roma. Roma goes third fastest, 18.721 for Roma. Still Cottle, Howell, Roma, your top 3 positions. Eric Tracy now 4th on the board. He gets bumped by Daniel Pope, who goes third fast, 18.706 for Pope.
Kind of like this extended qualifying session, Jeff. Not everybody jumping out at the same time. We can kind of bounce around. Thomas Axum out on the racetrack.
Parker Traves, third fastest, 18.7 flat for Parker Traves. And Thomas Axum to the top of the board. New quick time, 18.583 for Axum.
Caden Fisher out on the racetrack in the 18 car. He'll go P16 on his first lap. Not the lap Caden's looking for.
Remember, if you're hanging out with us on Facebook, like and share the stream. Leave us a comment. Let us know who you're cheering for, as we are still underway with International Short Track Association Quick Time qualifying. Thomas Axum, Josh Cottle, Grayson Ward, last week's winner, up to P3, 18.624 for Grayson Ward. AJ Rogers into the top 5, 18.696. He gets bumped out of the top 5 by Cole Cabry, who goes 4th fastest, 18.646 for Cabry.
Jeff, we heard there was a possibility Cole Cabry wouldn't be here this week for the playoffs. And sure enough, here he is in the 54 machine. Almost wanted to remove his name. And then I got a message from him tonight, said, "Am I still in the playoffs?" I said, "Yeah."
Yeah.
So yeah, here he is.
He didn't think he was going to make it tonight. He was willing to give up his spot, and we weren't going to allow that to happen. And Cole was then able to make it. So good thing that he was able to make it.
Stayed in. Josh Parrish out on the racetrack in the 55 car. He'll start his qualifying effort.
Looking at the qualifiers right now, all of your championship contenders, except for Alex McCollum, have ran their laps. Still waiting on McCollum to put in a lap right now. But Thomas Axum, one of your championship 6 drivers, 2 will be eliminated after tonight's race. Only 4 will race for the championship in the final race next week.
Brett Suggs out on the racetrack. He goes P22 in the 33 car. Not the effort Brett Suggs was looking for, coming off of a podium last week. Josh Parrish goes P12 in the 55. Alex McCollum back on the racetrack for his qualifying effort.
Yeah, McCollum's got about a minute left remaining in this qualifying session to get a lap in. Just 2 drivers that have not turned a lap. One of them, Peter Fisher, who is currently not in the server. Not sure if we're going to see Pete take part in tonight's race or not. It's Alex working his way down the back straightaway. We're just kind of waiting to see timing. What is Alex McCollum going to run? Is he going to be near the top of the board or going to have some work to do tonight? Bill, that is quick time. Alex McCollum, 18.555. New fast time as he bumps Thomas Axum back to second. Josh Cottle, third. Grayson Ward, fourth. Cole Cabry, fifth.
We'll save the best for last, I guess, huh, Jeff? That was pretty impressive. So he was able to set quick time tonight. International Short Track Racing Association Quick Time Award winner. 3 seconds left in this session. That'll be the man. Alex McCollum going to start on the pole tonight for the Daniel Williamson 126 here at Martinsville.
Well, Bill, we are going into warm-up tonight. No B mains needed, no slow dashes. So we are going to start 29 drivers in the feature event. 29 qualify, 29 will take part. As Alex McCollum goes quick time, earns a $7 bonus courtesy of the International Short Track Association for that fast time. Thomas Axum, Josh Cottle, Grayson Ward, fourth, Cole Cabry, fifth, and shout out to Misty, who's in the chat cheering for Grayson, who qualified fourth. Cole Cabry, fifth tonight. Peyton Howell, sixth. AJ Rogers, seventh. Parker Traves, eighth. Daniel Pope, ninth. Bo Ledbetter, 10th, and 10th place qualifier tonight. So we talked about those 6 championship drivers that are still in the hunt. That is Thomas Axum, Cole Cabry, Alex McCollum, Grayson Ward, Josh Cottle, and Daniel Pope. And looking at that order, that means Daniel Pope is the... right now, he's sitting 9th on the board. He'll start 9th tonight, and he is the slowest qualifier of all those 6 championship drivers. So all 6 of them ended up in the top 9. That's pretty impressive.
Of course they did, Jeff. That's why they're in the playoffs. They're the fast guys, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Top 5, and then Daniel Pope back to in 9th. So Daniel's got some work cut out for him. He has no bonus points, no wins this season. He's going to have to beat some drivers on the racetrack, and right now, starting kind of in a hole. He's going to have to race his way to the front or hope for some luck, and maybe some bad luck for some of these other guys in front of him.
Starting tonight at Martinsville. I was just there over the weekend, Jeff. Really cool racetrack. Doing some work in turns 1 and 2. I have no idea. I have to look it up. There was a whole bunch of dirt piled with like walls and stuff in 1 and 2. It was very strange.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, they covered some grandstands that I believe people didn't use as often anymore. And I wonder what they're doing down there. It looked like they were kind of building a hill. It was odd. But really cool place. Been here since 1949. And did you know, Jeff, that Martinsville is the only racetrack to hold NASCAR Cup Series events every season that the series has existed?
No, I did not know that. That's pretty cool.
I'm sorry, 1947. The division's inception in 1949 of the Cup Series, and it has had a race every single season since then.
And pretty much a pretty legendary racetrack. It's one that's kind of on my bucket list. Almost got to go once when I was in Washington, D.C. We talked about going out down there, but we were there during one of the hurricanes, and racing got canceled, so we didn't end up making it there.
Yeah, it's very cool. It's incredible how close you feel to the race cars. You're just right there. The seats go right down to the outside wall. And the way the track is, because it's so tight and the back stretch is so close to you when you're sitting on the front stretch, it just feels like they're always right there. Yeah,
absolutely, and really, they're on the brakes for so long too. I mean, we talk about it being a paperclip. That's what people call it, a paperclip racetrack, and you're on the throttle for a long time, and then you're on the brakes for a long time, and you're basically making a 90-degree hairpin corner on each end of the racetrack. It's really difficult racetrack to master. So, to be fast here, it takes some skill. It takes a lot of work to figure it out. And some guys like it, some guys don't. And You're going to see that tonight. There are some fast drivers deep into the field. One of those drivers, Brett Suggs, Jeff By Sr. sent us 50 stars. He is cheering for Brett Suggs. Said Suggs is going to come from the back. He is starting 23rd, so that is a long ways to go for Brett Suggs tonight.
He did not have the qualifying effort that we have become accustomed to for Brett Suggs. So he's got a lot of work to do in the 33 car if he wants to get an opportunity to talk to us again tonight.
Reagan Parent hanging out in the chat. You want to know who the playoff drivers are? Those are Thomas Axum, who has 3 bonus points tonight. He has an advantage because he has 3 wins. Cole Cabry, Alex McCollum, Grayson Ward, Josh Cottle, and Daniel Pope. Now, only Cottle and Pope don't have any bonus points. Cabry, McCollum, and Ward each have 1 because of wins. Grayson's coming last week. They each have 1 bonus point, so that is a bit of an advantage. It equals out to 1 spot on the racetrack that they have an advantage over the other guy, plus the tiebreaker. So if you're Cottle, if you're Daniel Pope, you have to beat those guys by 2 spots to knock them out of the playoffs and stay alive.
Yeah, bonus points did not save Parker Traves last week, Jeff, so we'll see how that plays out as the night goes on, as we thought he was definitely the wild card where he was going to be the guy that mixes it up. So even if you fell back, he had something to fall back on, and he just fell back just, what was it, 1 spot too far, I believe, at the end of the race.
Yeah, absolutely. Just really, had some trouble, got caught up in an incident that was none of his own doing, just happened in front of him. He got turned around and just was never able to recover. And with 29 cars here tonight at Martinsville, it could be the same issue. If somebody gets in trouble early on in the front of this field and they could end up going in the back and just not be able to work their way back through the field. And that's what happened to Parker last week as we get set to go racing for the Daniel Williamson Memorial 126 here from Martinsville. On the front row, your quick qualifier tonight, International Short Track Association quick qualifier, the number 8, that's Alex McCollum. On the outside of him, the reigning, defending series champion, the 13, that's Thomas Axum.
Starting in the 3rd position in the number 13 machine, that is Josh Cottle, and to his outside last week's winner in the number 9, it's Grayson Ward.
Starting 5th tonight in the 54 machine, it'll be Cole Cabry. On the outside of him in the number 52, it's Peyton Now.
Starting in the 7th position in the familiar, number 17, that is AJ Rogers, and to his outside, we just talked about him, got bumped out of the playoffs last week despite winning 3 races this season in the 60, it's Parker Traves.
Starting 9th tonight in the number 31 car, it's Daniel Pope. And starting this number 26 machine, the Daniel Williamson car, the one that we're doing the race for tonight. Daniel Williamson, a good long friend here at ITZR and a friend of many of these drivers, including this number 78 of Bo Ledbetter.
Starting 11th in the 83 machine, that is Chris Roma, and to his outside, making his debut with the series this season in the 07. He runs in the Challenger Series. It's Kyle Martinson.
Starting 13th tonight in the 55 machine, it's Josh Parrish. On the outside of him in the number 91, it's Dylan Bates.
Starting 15th in the 67 car, it is Eric Tracy, and to his outside in the number 7, it's Jackson Lewis.
Starting 17th tonight will be the 28 of Corey Bigley. On the outside of him in the number 15 machine, it's Matt Barkhouse.
Starting 19th in the number 34, it is Kelsey Rogers, and to his outside in the 65, it's Aaron Abendroth.
Starting 21st in the number 24 machine, it is Colby Bryant. On the outside of him in the 42, it's Super Zach Onan.
Brett Suggs will roll off 23rd in the number 33, and to his outside, another fast driver in the 32. We saw him finish 2nd in the Sarah race we broadcasted 2 weeks ago. That's Trevor Edwards.
Starting 25th tonight in the number 19, it's Wet Willie Howes. On the outside of him in the 81, it's the ravishing one, Rick Rube.
Starting 27th in the 112, it's Del Mears. And to his outside, we call him the kid in the number 18, that's Caden Fisher.
And starting dead last on the field in the number 22 car, it is Jordan Harnish, former Challenger Series winner, or champion, rather. And wanted to give a shout out to Caden Fisher, who it is his 15th birthday today. The kid in the number 18 machine gonna start 28 tonight. His 15th birthday. Pete, his uncle Pete, said he got to drive on the street for the first time today. Took his learner's permit to school, so that is pretty cool. Caden, happy birthday!
Well, the kid's been winning races up in I believe Vermont for a few seasons now, and in the short tracks up there. So clearly knows how to drive and drive a race car. So watch out, everybody on the street. Fast kid just showed up.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to Reagan Parent. He just sent us 100 stars. Reagan, that is so cool. Eric Muse here cheering for Bo Ledbetter as we are all set to go. And again, just this one is for Daniel Williamson as we get set to go 126 laps here at Martinsville. Longtime friend of ITZR, a kind of a short track legend on iRacing, and we lost him last year due to the COVID and just a really unfortunate deal. And this is something a lot of these guys have been putting together for the last 2 seasons now because you know, we're still thinking about Daniel and his friends and family. So this one is for you guys tonight. So here we go. Pace car going to head off the racetrack. Your quick qualifier, Alex McCollum, and your defending series champion, Thomas Axum, on the front row. We are set to go green flag racing for the Daniel Williamson Memorial 126, presented by Shockeye 12 Racing. And Alex McCollum is on the loud pedal. He is 2-3 car lengths ahead of Thomas Axum. Let Axum slide into line. The battle's on for third.
Battle's on for third as Josh Cottle's going to be to the bottom. Grayson Ward on the high side. Usually the bottom here at Martinsville going to be the lane that works. We'll see with these super late models if anybody on the top can do anything. Grayson Ward's going to get sideways off the corner. He'll save it. Wow, what a save.
Huge save for Grayson Ward, but he does lose spots as Daniel Pope drives by him, and that could bump Grayson Ward out of the playoffs if it finishes like it does. Fortunately for him, he's still got about 124 laps to go.
Yeah, long time that he's got an opportunity to move his way back forward. Daniel Pope was able to sneak by. There might have been some net code between he and Cottle. I don't think we saw any contact, but that got the 9 car up the racetrack, and he has dropped back in the field for the moment. But Jeff, that is drama with last week's winner having problems already.
Your top 2 cars, McCollum and Axum, have checked out on Cole Cabrey. Josh Cottle fell back to 4th. Pope is up to 5th. We got trouble. Bo Ledbetter's around in 3 and 4. Several cars stacked up. The caution is going to wave.
Ledbetter in the number 26, the Daniel Williamson paint scheme. Take a look. Looks like Bo's got some damage. Maybe the left side is pretty beat up on the 26 car. Let's see what happened to him as he went through turns 3 and 4.
Looks like Bo got in the back of Eric Tracy. The field just kind of stopped there on the bottom. There was some contact up ahead of Bo. Bo got into the back of Tracy. He tried to check up. And then the cars behind him, just no time to react. Kyle Martinson, Matt Barkhouse, they get collected. I saw it. I believe that was the 34 Kelsey Rogers that also got turned around.
Corey Bigley involved as well. Looks like Zach Onen, Kelsey Rogers. I believe Colby Bryant had to stop in the 24 car. I'm pretty sure that Ledbetter's car is now crab walking, but that was an odd. So we take a look at it one more time. Do we get a different? It seemed like Martinson took a long time to get there.
It's kind of a weird deal, though. The inside line really stopped. And
yeah, it really did.
Not sure what really set that off. You saw Parrish get in the back of Roma, and everybody just kind of slowed down, and the inside line really just kind of came to a dead stop, and nothing anybody could really do there as Bo Ledbetter got turned around, and to Kyle Martinson's credit, he was actually getting pushed from the cars behind him as well. So it's just nothing anybody could really do there. Kind of a racing deal. We call it the accordion effect, where they just kind of all stack up. Shout out again to Reagan Parent, who sent us another 100 stars. That is so cool. Thank you so much. And wanted to shout out Aaron Johnson tonight, who is not here racing with us. From what I heard, he had a surgery, had to have gallbladder, I believe, removed. So Aaron, hopefully you're going to be feeling better next week. We'll have you back and rest up, and hopefully we'll see you back in 1 week from today.
Quick shout out to Colby Bryant racing the Reese's car tonight. That was Daniel Williamson's favorite NASCAR paint scheme. So Colby runs that in the Daniel Williamson Memorial races. Very cool. I believe Colby and Daniel were on a pit crew together.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, so they were buddies, and so Colby running that favorite paint scheme tonight.
Also, Reagan Parent was cheered for Thomas Axum and Jackson Lewis. His pace cars off the racetrack. We are going back green flag racing with McCollum and Axum on that front row. Cole Cabrey got a fantastic restart, and he's going to challenge Axum for the second spot here.
Down into turns 1 and 2. Here comes Cabrey on the bottom, and now Parker Traves is around.
And Traves got hit by Kyle Martinson there as he went down the back straightaway. I think Grayson Ward might have been involved in that as well. He was trying to save that car off turn 2 and made contact with the 60. And man, that just kind of set them off there, coming off turn 2 onto the back straightaway. The 9 car just gets a pop from behind and gets him sideways, chases up the racetrack, and around goes Parker Traves.
I don't think he got a pop from behind, Jeff. I think he catches the curb. As Grayson turns or gets loose, I think he just does he actually get hit from Roma? Does Roma get into the back of him?
Yeah, from my view, I see a little contact from the 83, and that just kind of got him up the racetrack there.
Yeah, it looks like Roma just gets that collision box that's really tight on these cars. Looks like he just gets into the back of the 9 car, gets him a little sideways, and as Grayson saves it and tries to catch it, he gets into Parker Traves, who gets hammered by Kyle Martinson and Trevor Edwards.
Yeah, that was a tough break there. Grayson Ward, another fantastic save. That's the second time he's had a big moment already in this one. And if you're Grayson Ward, you got to be a little nervous right now. Like, hey, why does everybody keep getting into me?
Right? So Parker Traves into the pits, fixing some damage on the 60 machine. I almost said Daniel Williamson. That Daniel Williamson's car, Bo Ledbetter, the driver, it was also on pit road. Man, it'll like never go away, Jeff. I see that car. I think Daniel Williamson.
Yeah, I mean the fluorescent yellow and the orange 26. I mean, it's basically synonymous with Daniel Williamson. We saw him race it for so many years. A winner in the late model shootout series. One of the I'd say probably one of the best guys in the old late model stock car that we have on iRacing. I mean, he was so good in that car.
Yeah, when you showed up, he was one of the guys you had to beat. I think we talked about that last season when we ran this race. Daniel was so good and super fun. He was aggressive, but I mean, we were all friends with him. We didn't know him until he started racing in the league, and we were all friends with him because he was fun to race with. He was a good clean racer, and he was fast, and that's the kind of guys we like, right? So we ended up being friends with him, and unfortunately last year we lost him, and I think all of us just really. You can't get over it, but we'd like to basically bring up his name every single season with the Daniel Williamson Memorial. And here we are again tonight at Martinsville.
Shout out to Becca in the Facebook chat, cheering for the 42, a Super Zach Onan. Currently running in the 22nd position.
Aaron Johnson in the chat, Jeff. Go ahead and tell us what happened to Aaron this week. And we are disappointed that he couldn't get out of the hospital bed and come race with us.
Yeah, Aaron, emergency surgery over the weekend, and so we're glad Aaron's all right. That was a little scary. When I saw it today on Facebook, I was like, what happened? The pace car is going off the racetrack. Here we go. Alex McCollum back to green flag racing. Single file restart. They did not complete a lap. So now Cole Cavery into second. Thomas Axon back in third. Josh Cottle, Daniel Pope, 5 of your playoff drivers lined up nose to tail there.
Jeff, we just watched the speed shot on the back straightaway. That is a lot of race cars as they finally all cross that speed shot location right on the restart. They're almost entering turn 1, or they are just crossing the middle of the backstretch while the leaders are entering turn 1. So that is a lot of race cars wrapped around the Martinsville Speedway.
Yeah, 27 still running. We did lose Kyle Martinson and Matt Barkhouse already in this one. Is Alex McCollum leading laps? Your quick qualifier out front has led every lap of this one as we work lap 16 down the back straightaway. Cole Cavery in pursuit in that second position in the number 54 machine. Behind them, Thomas Axum leads Josh Cottle, Daniel Pope, and Peyton Howell.
A lot of race cars that are everybody's pretty much single file. I think just about everybody's single file at this point. We'll take a look from that same speed shot. Woo, you see Peyton Howell getting a little bit high coming off turn 2. Now you got Del Mears up the racetrack.
Brett Suggs trying to work his way forward in the 33 machine. He's making a pass on Kelsey Rogers. This is a battle for 15th on the racetrack.
Suggs will clear. Actually, he won't clear the 34. Now he will out down into turn 3.
Little contact between Caden Fisher and Trevor Edwards. That slowed up the back end of the field there as Trevor Edwards gets by. Caden Fisher with the save. He's going to fall back to the 26th position.
He's got a lot of damage on the 18 car. That front end is messed up. I think he was caught in both wrecks.
Yeah, not a fun way to celebrate your birthday there for Cade
Right.
Richards. He's running around kind of in the back with a lot of damage right now.
You know what it is? It's he's giving the opportunity. Here's an opportunity to drive slow, Caden. This is what you should do on the street.
Absolutely. We are still green flag racing Alex McCollum. He's starting to feel the pressure now. Is Cole Cabrey going to take a peek down into turn one? McCollum going to give him the inside line, and Cabrey going to try to take this lead away from Alex McCollum. McCollum got a great run off turn two. Going to hold on.
Fends him off on the high side as Cabrey had the bottom. You see Cabrey doing a little bit of a change up on what line he's running there, as he was kind of high entry into turn three and then dove to the bottom coming off of turn number four. And I think he's just trying to get the run, but that time wasn't able to make the move on McCollum.
Field mostly single file right now. I just saw Brett Suggs get around Colby Bryant, so move Suggs up into the 13th position. Actually make that the 14th position now. Colby Bryant back to 15th.
So Suggs making his way forward, was able to avoid those early incidents. You can see that he has no damage on the front of that 33 machine. You can see Colby Bryant right behind him does. Some of those cars that have a little bit of damage and probably struggling just a little more than those cars without it. But Colby Bryant's showing pretty decent pace in the 24 with all that damage on the left front.
Jeff By Sr. sending us 50 more stars, said Brett Suggs on the move, and he is flying through the field right now. Started 23rd, working his way forward up into the 14th position. Another driver on the move, I saw Josh Parrish, started 13th. He is up to 8th, and you got to watch out because Josh is racing for a championship on Tuesday nights, and he is getting some extra track time here in the Monday night series, and he is looking really strong here at Martinsville.
Josh Parrish was at the Valley Star Credit Union 300 this weekend in Martinsville. He was spotting for a race car, so Josh knows how to get around this place.
Yeah, I'm a little jealous. There was kind of like a ITZR meetup of sorts, I guess, because there were so many of you guys at Martinsville last week. A little jealous I didn't get to take part in that.
Well, I will say, Jeff, they all disappointed me except for one guy. I didn't get a chance to meet anybody except for Daniel Sweat. Daniel Sweat
cool.
not racing with the season racing with the series this season, but did say that he will hopefully make his way back. But yeah, he actually saw me in the stands, believe it or not. He sat about 15 rows behind me and said, "I think I see you." So I went up and said hello. Yeah, it was very cool.
Peyton Howell got up the racetrack last time into turn one. Now Josh Parrish starting to put the pressure on the 52 machine. Howell looked like he is struggling just a bit to keep that car down on the bottom, and now he's kind of under attack as Parrish and Grayson Ward trying to work their way forward.
Big group of cars right here with Peyton Howell towing Josh Parrish, Grayson Ward, Eric Tracy's in it, Jackson Lewis in the 7. I see Dylan Bates back there in the 91 and Corey Bigley right there in the 28. Then there's a gap to Brett Suggs. And Suggs just might be riding at this point. Maybe want to save tires, not try to. And then there's the yellow. We get a yellow, so Suggs could have been riding, waiting for a yellow. And he's got one.
Jordan Harnish turned around coming off turn 4. He's going to get rejoined and continue on, but got turned around coming off turn 4 onto the front straightaway.
Oh, looks like he got a shot from Bo Ledbetter. Take a look at that from a different camera angle, see if we can get anything better.
Yeah, I take one more look at that because I think we might see the 22 bounce it off
the curb action.
Yeah, and I don't know if Bo actually got to him or not, but he was definitely out of shape because of the curb.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it was curb first. Let's take a look. We'll look at it from Bo's perspective as they go down into turn number 3. He's got Jordan Harnish out in front of him. 100%. I apologize, Bo. That was 100%. Jordan just got up on the curb a little bit, got the car a little bit loose. And honestly, I'm not sure if Bo ever hit him. Maybe just a tiny bit. Maybe just helped him, but at that point, Bo was off the gas.
So Jordan Arnish going to rejoin at the rear of the field. Still 27 cars running. Trevor Edwards was a lap down, just picked up a lucky dog, so he's back on the lead lap in the 27th position.
You know, we don't do this very often anymore, Jeff, but if you are watching the broadcast, please like and subscribe. If you don't like the page on Facebook, like the page on Facebook. Also, like the broadcast. It does help us. And if you're on YouTube, I was disappointed. This is going to sound horrible, Jeff, but I'm disappointed by how many subscribers we don't have on YouTube. So definitely subscribe to the page. You'll get it. If you don't watch YouTube, it doesn't matter. If you're on YouTube, it'll let you know that we're broadcasting if you're not here at 9 o'clock at night. But it'll let you know, give that notification, and that's what subscribing does. That's all it does. There's no cost. You just have to subscribe, and it'll tell you when we go live.
We've got a lot of racing coming at you this week. Tomorrow night, another Daniel Williamson Memorial 126 for the Challenger Series, the County Road Custom Late Model Challenger Series. And then, again, we'll be back in action Thursday night as the Sarah Supra Series heads to the Bull Ring. So we'll have a little open setup action on Thursday night as well. And so a full slate for us. 3 nights of racing here at ITZR.
The Bull Ring's a fun little racetrack there on Thursday. That'll be neat. Really tight short track racing.
Yeah, I love the Bull Ring. I think that's such a. I know it gets a bad rep, and there's generally a lot of cautions there, but that is a fun racetrack, and it's exciting to race there. You're just jam packed, and it's just such an on track to drive. There's so many different ways you can tackle those corners, and it kind of makes things interesting in traffic. So can't wait for that one. That's going to be a lot of fun as pace car is going to head off the racetrack. Alex McCollum, Cole Cavery, Thomas Axum, Josh Cottle, Daniel Pope, your top 5. And the way they stand right now, Daniel Pope running 5th, he'd still be out of the next round of the playoffs.
That's crazy. We talked to Pope after last week, and he said it is intense racing in the playoffs. Nerve-wracking the entire time.
Yeah, absolutely. And Daniel trying to make a move on Cottle here as he takes over the 4th spot. He's got to run off the inside line, and Pope trying to take this spot away. Cottle fighting back as the caution waves as the field heads into turn 1. I think we might have had a moment with possibly the 112.
Ledbetter around. Or the 26th too. It's 78 in the program, Jeff's 26th on the track. Looks like he has a moment with Rick Rube.
Yeah, I think Rick Rube might have got hit going into turn 3 and got kind of sent into the corner a bit.
That's a pretty good save by Rick there. He ends up going across the grass.
Yeah, up over the curb, back onto the racetrack. Poor Bo Ledbetter just probably never even saw that one coming.
Oh my goodness.
Turned around.
Trying to figure out here, does Rick back up the entry pretty badly? Yeah, I mean, if you watch Caden's entry speed, it's not any worse than Chris Roma's underneath Rick. I think Rick just slowed it down a little more than Caden probably thought. But again, C-car, don't hit car?
Yeah, it's a pretty big shot there. Caden gave the 81. I mean, enough to launch Rick through the corner. That was a pretty big shot.
I was kind of like maybe Caden was giving Rick Rube birthday spankings. That was quite the shot.
Well, Caden Fisher going to go to the rear of the field for that contact. Really kind of happened towards the rear of the field as it was.
Parker Traves back out of the pits, trying to get the number 60 car patched up as much as possible. He's gone around a couple times, got into the pits with that car. Unfortunately, was caught in something of his own doing earlier. As he watched the cars underneath him get sideways and got into the left rear, and as they tried to save it, Traves went around. Kind of what happened to him last week.
Yeah, pretty much exact same story of what happened for Parker last week. Is his playoffs have pretty much been a disaster. I mean, it's this is probably the worst case scenario for Parker Traves this season in this this playoff battle. So, Bill, as they run now, Daniel Pope just put himself into a playoff spot for next week. If he's able to hold on to where he's at, he's running 4th, Josh Cottle 5th. Josh Cottle would be out along with Grayson Ward. So, I mean, it's still a long race to go. We're only 41 laps into this 126 lapper. Still plenty of racing to go here. But a big moment there as Daniel Pope got around Cottle. That's a big spot right there.
Unfortunately, Jeff, he's going to have to start on the high side. So that is not something, as Delmere is going to jump into pit lane here as we get ready to go green flag racing.
Well, we are set to go double file for this restart again. Alex McCollum, who's led every single lap of this one from the front row with Cole Cabry, Thomas Axon, Daniel Pope, Josh Cottle, AJ Rogers into the 6th spot, Peyton Howell, Grayson Ward in 8th. And McCollum going to make Cabry wait on it. Cabry tried to get out front. That stacks everybody up a bit.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. Hopefully they can make it through turns 1 and 2 because that really, really will mess with everybody's starts. And we don't.
No, they did not make it through 1 and 2. Again, that really packed up the field. And I think Willie Howells might have had a moment with Aaron Avendroth.
Hey, Willie's got big damage on his car.
Jordan Harnish got involved. Bo Ledbetter again involved. Caden Fisher got a piece of that one. So just a rough deal coming to the green there. Willie Howells ran into the back of Colby Bryant as the field just never kind of really took off there.
Oh my gosh. That is just destruction at the back of it. So everybody, if you want to see what happens when you do shenanigans, we'll call it shenanigans up front. When you're trying to jump the guy on the bottom, trying to make sure you get a good restart. This is what happens to everybody else in the race. So we'll kind of go into the middle here. We'll look at Eric Tracy. Let's just watch all the cars run into each other. Because the outside thought they were, and everybody is running into each other, and then you get what happens back here. So this is what's important, guys, to really kind of accelerate normally. The games that people play do not work on iRacing. See that all too often. I think that's why we said, hopefully we get through 1 and 2, and we didn't even make the start-finish line. I think that's just a racing deal, Jeff. I don't think there's much you can say about that, except for the guys up front.
Yeah, just a situation there. The outside line kind of jumped a little early. Cole had to check up to make sure he didn't beat Alex to the line, and that's what ends up happening. That outside line just got a little carried away there, and kind of one of those situations, see, with the guys in the back, I saw a lot of them giving a lot of space there to try to time the restart. And that's a problem when they start to see cars 3 cars ahead of the car in front of them go. They start to take off. They have a big gap. They build up a ton of speed, and then
smash.
They have nowhere to go with it.
And then smash. That's basically what happens. And that's what we just saw. We'll see if we can look down from the starter cam to see how many cars have damage on the front end of their car. That is because of what just happened.
That's what we like to see on these restarts. You got to keep the bumpers to the bumper, keep them nice and tight. You don't want to see a car lane back about a car length or 2 car lengths back, because that's what ends up getting people into trouble. They start to build up a little too much speed on those restarts, and then things kind of go haywire.
I think we're looking at everybody wants to win the Daniel Williamson Memorial, Jeff, and everybody going hard at all times. All right, Jeff, quiz question for the night. And everybody without Googling on the Facebook chat. What is the degree of banking in the corners at Martinsville Speedway?
I will say I don't know this. I know it's really flat. It's not a lot of banking, if any. If anybody wants to take a shot at it in the Facebook chat, go for it right now.
Without Googling.
If I had to make a guess, I would say 4 degrees.
Okay, that's Jeff's guess. Okay, so without Googling, somebody take a shot at it in the chat. We'll go back yellow flag. Then the next yellow flag, we'll get the answer.
Pace car off the racetrack. Alex McCollum takes this green flag racing. Single file restart. They did not complete a lap. Cody Hunley in the chat thinks it might be 12 degrees. Aaron Johnson said, I think 26. I think that's a bit much, Aaron. Grayson Ward taking a shot at the 52 of Peyton Howell. He got up the inside into turn 3. Can he complete the pass down the front straightaway? They are now door to door. And Grayson Ward going to edge forward, take that spot. Here comes the 7 of Jackson Lewis. He's going to try to take advantage of this.
Jackson Lewis up the inside of Peyton Howell. Peyton Howell, he's in damage control mode right now as he is caught on the outside. Here comes Josh Parrish in the 55. He's going to try to make the move as well. Jeff, you said Peyton Howell was struggling a little bit before, and now definitely on his way backwards, but he'll slot back in line in front of Parrish.
Yeah, got down in front of Parrish, so he'll hold on to that 8th or 9th position rather. Parrish back in 10th. Dylan Bates rather, in the number 91 machine running 11th.
Everybody single file up front.
Mostly single file throughout the field.
Just taking a look back through the field to see where everybody is. See if we got any battling happening. We got a real tight pack of cars behind Rick Rube. Chris Roma, Zach Onan, Caden Fisher's in there. Trevor Edwards in the 32. Parker Traves has made some repairs. He's got the pace back in the 60. Not all of it, but a lot.
Brett Suggs trying to work his way forward. He has caught the 28 of Corey Bigley. He's trying to set that 28 machine up. Bigley doing a great job of kind of keeping that car pinned to the bottom, not giving Brett Suggs much to look at as the 33 continues to try to enter high, try to roll that car through the center and get a run at the 28 machine.
Yeah, Corey doing a nice job in the 28 car. He's currently running in the 13th position right behind Eric Tracy. See Colby Bryant there in the 24 behind them.
Alex McCollum really opening up the gap up front, is now 0.6 of a second over Cole Cabrey as he's starting to stretch it a bit. And it's hard to tell whether people might be saving tires. We know when you're out front, it's so hard to judge that and gauge what kind of speeds you need to be running to save tires for the end. Right now, Alex really starting to push the pace right now out front, nearly 0.7 of a second now.
Aaron Abendroth was able to make up a position. Oh, we go yellow. So we have an issue, and I think it's Trevor Edwards in the 32 as he just made contact with Caden Fisher. Let's see what happened to Trevor.
Yeah, the birthday boy involved in another one as they head down the front straightaway. Trevor Edwards, Caden Fisher, they were side by side. They get together, and to me, it looks like the A team might have got squeezed up into the wall.
They came off at turn number 4. Oh, yeah. Caden actually hit the wall instead of hitting Trevor, and when he did, not much he could have done there. Caden clearly not happy as he pushed Trevor down the front straightaway. And then Trevor not happy with him as they make more contact, but both cars heavily damaged tonight. Neither one of those drivers having a good night. Both guys that are capable of running in the top 10, Jeff, just not having the race they were looking for.
Yeah, so we put out the question there of how much banking Martinsville has. And so Cody Hunley said 12, Aaron Johnson 26, Reagan 10.5 degrees. Cody Hunley said between 9 and 14. I see Dan Suggs say 36 degrees of banking. I think that's more like Bristol.
That's actually more than Bristol. It's that's almost what Bristol used to be, but they reduced that as well. But the correct answer, and we'll probably go with Reagan Parent here. He's the closest, but it is actually listed at 11 degrees of banking in Martinsville.
See, that's actually more than I expected. I thought the track was pretty flat.
You would actually be surprised if you saw it from certain angles. Up in the stands, you really can't tell, but there are certain angles you can see turns 3 and 4 from the parking lot, and you would be surprised how much banking it really does have. I think all of those years of watching it on TV, we thought it was basically driving in the Walmart parking lot, and it's not. It actually has some banking.
And kind of interesting corners because it has those concrete corners and the asphalt straightaway. So, I mean, there's really nothing like it except for the track that they built in Rockingham to be kind of a replica of this track. I don't know if you've ever seen that. It's just kind of like no walls or anything. It's a Martinsville with no walls, just kind of
Really?
Yeah, they were using it for testing because they could test there, but they couldn't test at Martinsville due to the NASCAR rules. So it was kind of one of those gray areas where they could go run this racetrack in Rockingham, and it's just an exact replica of Martinsville sitting there.
Used for nothing else but to test race cars.
Yeah.
Well, you know, asphalt's cheap. No, it's not. It's like a $2 million test track.
Well, pace car lights are out, so we're getting set to go back to Green Flag Racing. Alex McCollum, Cole Cavery, Thomas Axum, Daniel Pope, Josh Cottle, AJ Rogers running 6th right now, doing fantastic. Grayson Ward back up into the 7th position. Jackson Lewis on the move. He started 16th. He is up to 8th now. Josh Parrish running 9th. Peyton Howell 10th. I actually think those are swapped there. Peyton Howell should be scored 9th and Josh Parrish 10th. We are Green Flag Racing once again. McCollum off and away, and he's going to clear that 54. Cavery going to get down in line right in front of Thomas Axum. Daniel Pope going to try to work the outside line.
That is not the place you want to be if you're Daniel Pope. So you see Josh Cottle going to try to make the move. Pope shuts the door on the 13 car. And Cottle giving him a nice room there, I guess, a hole to get into. Cottle could have definitely sent the 31.
Eric Tracy had a moment down the back straightaway, got into the wall. Brett Suggs was able to slip by. He just took over the 14th position as he got around Kelsey Rogers and Eric Tracy in one shot.
Wow, Brett.
Jackson Lewis sideways off turn 4. He's coming to a stop.
That'll bring out the yellow. Interesting to stop there. I think if he'd have gotten going, might have been able to save some positions, but that'll put him at the back of the field. But also, he might be upset with somebody. We've always told people that if you get knocked out of the way, take a look and see what happened to Jackson.
We have told people if it doesn't bring out a caution, there's nothing we can do. And I think this might have been a situation where Jackson said, "Hey, I could save this, but you also going to get this caution with
hit me." Let's take a look. Oh. Yep. Yeah, wow, what a nice save by Jackson Lewis. That showed some car control there. But I definitely think that was an intentional yellow. And we've said before, if you don't spin out, we can't bring... And it doesn't bring out the yellow. There is no penalty. But I think in this case, Jeff, I think we've... cracks me up. He did what we said. But I think in this case, we can see clearly what happened going into turn number 3. And that's going to be a C car don't hit car situation, or hey, you missed the corner situation. Let's look at Jackson Lewis save this car, though. That is pretty good. Really sideways, and not anymore.
And
locks the front down.
You said it. I think Peyton Howell going into turn 3 just sailed it off in there a little much, and you could see the back end step out. And he kind of drove that. He was sideways on entry, trying to get that thing wound up.
He tried not to.
Racetrack.
To his credit, I mean, I don't think he did. It was definitely nothing intentional.
No, I just got off into the corner a little too deep. That car stepped out on him, and he kind of had to chase it up the racetrack. And Jackson Lewis just happened to be there.
Jackson using the yellow as an opportunity to bend some of his fenders out. Get a little repairs on the 7 machine. You see Peyton Howell slides back. Peyton's going to get the EOL. Peyton still hasn't figured out how to put the entire contingencies on his race car. Does have the Moonlight Speed logos on there, Jeff. Although he does have the ITZR banner, so Peyton's getting there.
Yeah, the Moonlight Speed, a proud sponsor of our Hard Charger award. And that is a collective season-long Hard Charger. I'm looking at it right now. Colby Bryant picking up some places tonight. He's started 21st, currently running 11th. Corey Bigley started 17th. He's now in the top 10, so shout out to Corey Bigley. Brett Suggs started 23rd. He's up to 13th. Kelsey Rogers started 19th. He's up to 12th. Caden Fisher has been involved in a lot tonight. He started 28th. He's up to 17th. So He's up 11 positions.
That card's going to need a whole front end. It is messed up. On his birthday. That is not the night he was looking for.
It's a good-looking race car, though.
Well, you know, replica of his real-life racing car.
Yeah, if you haven't seen Caden's real-life racing car, I think he's got a Facebook page for his racing page. And you gotta check out that late model.
It's
that
plural.
Is a cool car.
Yes. He drives what's a Tiger car, which is basically a street stock that you would be around the entire country. And then also a mini stock, which they call a street stock up in the Northeast. And a late model.
There we go. Pace car off the racetrack as Alex McCollum going to take his green flag racing again. Cole Cabry on the outside. And McCollum's going to clear Cabry. Cabry's got a spot to get in line right in front of Thomas Axum again. Pope hung out on the outside, though.
We saw last restart, Pope slammed the door on Josh Cottle. Is he going to do it once again? He looks to the bottom. Cottle goes even farther down, but he allows him to drop down again. So Cottle's giving Pope 2 breaks tonight. Wonder if at any point during the race that Cottle asked for the same thing from Pope.
Well, and look who's joined the fray. Here comes Grayson Ward, who's fought his way all the way back up to 6. So your top 6 cars are your playoff drivers. They are running 1 through 6, and Grayson Ward right now would still be the man out along with Josh Cottle. They need to pick up places here.
NASCAR has it, Jeff. So do we. We give them the faster engines when they're racing for the championship. So your top 6 cars are leaving the rest of the field as now there's a gap as A.J. Rogers and Dylan Bates battling for the 7th spot.
AJ got up the racetrack there into turn 3 as Dylan Bates has to go up the racetrack. That's going to allow AJ to clear.
Oh!
Now Bates going to try to get in line as the caution waves as they head into turn 1.
Big wreck. I saw Colby Bryant was around. He caught Brett Suggs. Brett Suggs hit the inside wall hard in the 33. And his car is smoking, so that's probably going to be the end for Brett Suggs tonight. We don't see that very often. Oh, you can see he's on the throttle, and that car is not doing well.
Yeah, it looked like Colby Bryant and Parker Traves got hooked together off turn 4.
Now it's at the top of your screen as we watched live. Let's take a look and see what happened to those drivers as they came off of turn number 4. Oh, boy. Oh. That's a big hit from Brett Suggs. That one's tough, Jeff. I really don't know what happened between those 2 drivers. You can see. I think that's just tight racing. I don't really know. Doesn't look like Colby's walking up too bad off the bottom. Maybe a little bit.
Yeah, it's a tough call. To me, it looks like the 24 maybe comes up just a bit, gets hooked in the right rear.
But it's so early in the exit of the corner. I mean, they're still really far from the wall. That's not what I want to look at. You guys want to look at a corner that you can't see? Here we go. They're just so far from the wall. I just can't. I could never call that on the 24. Like 5 car widths off the wall. Is it possible Traves got loose?
I don't think so. Not that I'm seeing. I think once they just kind of get hooked together, there was just no getting them apart.
I think that's just tight racing. You really can't call that. And there was no malice either way. I don't think either driver really walked into the other lane. I think it was just too tight. One more camera view.
Shout out to Daniel Sweat in the Facebook chat. He says he loves some good Martinsville racing.
How about some good Martinsville crashing, Daniel? That's what we just had.
Well, looking at the results right now, Bo Ledbetter is officially out of this one in the 27th position. Brett Suggs is going to come home 26th tonight. Del Mears still making laps in the 25th position. Still 25 cars on the lead lap. Del was back on pit road that time, repairing some more damage. Alex McCollum has led every lap of this one so far as we come to get 79, lap 79, and the one to go sign to go back to Green Flag Racing. Alex McCollum, Cole Cavery, Thomas Axum, Daniel Pope, Josh Cottle, Grayson Ward, your 6 playoff drivers, running 1 through 6. And right now, Cottle and Grayson Ward would not move on to the next round. And those guys are going to need to try to change things up here as they got some time to go. Still about, 46 laps to go in this one. So plenty of time for Cottle and Grayson Ward. It's not over yet. Back to Green Flag Racing, McCollum clear of Cole Cavery into turn 1. Again, it's Daniel Pope trying to work that outside line as Axum going to clear down the back straightaway. Now, can Pope get in line? He does, right in front of Cottle.
Hey, Cottle every single time is giving Daniel Pope the spot. Like you said, Jeff, that's going to keep Cottle out of the playoffs if he continues to let that happen. Right now, not thinking about that as he's going to try to work by the 31. Now has to try to make a move.
Corey Bigley just got hung out 3 wide on that restart, and he is falling deep into the field now. Restarted in the top 10, and he's back to about the 16th position on the racetrack now.
Tight racing in the middle of the field. We got cars 2x2. Here comes Trevor Edwards in the 32. Peyton Howell in the 52 as well. They're on the bottom. Eric Tracy. Looks like Jackson Lewis. Oh, is Trevor Edwards going to get hooked by Corey Bigley off of turn 2? That's going to wreck Eric Tracy. And I think Bigley just got loose on the high. So you can see Trevor letting him know that he's not real happy about that.
Yeah, Corey Bigley on the outside line, and I think Corey tried to keep it off the wall, and when he did, he just came down the racetrack just a bit, almost pushed up into the outside wall, kept it off the wall, but then unfortunately hooked the 32.
Oh, yeah. Just enough. Just barely. We're going to have a great view of this one. Check this out. That's exciting there. But you can see Corey just slides down just a little bit as he gets a little loose. Just enough to catch the 32 in the right rear and turn him almost upside down. We'll jump into the 28 car as they came off turn 2. And it's tight. It is super tight. I mean, there's not a lot of room for error. He barely got loose, and then Trevor Edwards is there.
Yeah, and again, just he was trying to keep it off the wall there, and I think started to turn back the other way. Bill, one of the things I just noticed, Parker Traves has worked his way back into the top 10, currently running 10th. So we saw Parker involved early in that big accident. A lot of damage to the 60 machine. He's been off and on pit road all night fixing that car, and he's got a little bit of a hot rod here at the end.
Well, Parker's a wheelman, Jeff. We saw him win 3 races this season, which was the high watermark for this series, at least this season.
And shout out to the guy behind him, Caden Fisher, on his birthday, having a rough night. He's been involved in just about every accident out there, and he's back up into the 11th spot.
I can't believe that with how bad that car is being. The car is wrecked. And you can see those guys, Caden Fisher down to the bottom, picking up as much dust as he possibly can. Somebody needed to blow this track off. It does not look like that. Also, Jeff, did you know that on iRacing there's they need to basically scan this place again. When they scanned it originally, there was that grass inside the curb through the turns. That's not there anymore. That's now a concrete section that they painted black and sold advertising on.
Yeah. Well, pace car lights are out, so we're getting set to go back to Green Flag Racing there. I believe that was our 10th caution of the night, our 9th caution of the night. So, Martinsville, it has a tendency to get like this. It can be kind of rough. And if you're familiar with the Martinsville late model race that just ran last week, I didn't get to watch this Saturday's race, but in the past, that has been a brutal race. And late models in Martinsville can get pretty rough.
it's either good or bad. I find out about Martinsville. It's either really good or or it could be bad. And right now, getting a lot of bad.
Well, Cole Cavery back into the second spot as Thomas Axum and Daniel Pope battle once again, but this time Cottle, he is close to the 31. I don't think Pope's going to be able to get down in line, and Cottle now has position. No, not able to take advantage, so Pope back in the line through 3 and 4. Now Cottle's out of shape. He's going to spin. Saves it, but Dylan Bates is going to get collected, and several more, along with Caden Fisher, we just saw work his way into the top 10. He gets collected.
Oh my goodness. Now that, I think, started... And I don't want to say it was because Josh Cottle kept giving Daniel Pope breaks going into turn number 3, but that definitely checked everybody up just a little bit. We'll take a look at it. I think we were watching it as it began. Cottle backs up just a little bit. And he actually gets the curb. I think he slowed down so much to let Daniel Pope in that the car turned a little more than he expected.
I think he might have got the curb, and then there was also some contact with the 9 of Grayson Ward that walked the 13. Once he came off the curb, he gets into the 9 of Ward, and it just kind of slows everything up down the front straightaway. Dylan Bates makes some contact with him. Bates almost makes it by, and then just gets hooked up into the outside wall, collects Caden Fisher, AJ Rogers, Parker Traves, Kelsey Rogers involved. Looked like Trevor Edwards got a piece of that one.
We're going to take a look at it from the blimp cam, Jeff, because I think Cottle catches the curb on the inside, and that pops him out towards Grayson Ward, if I'm correct. We'll take a look at it here. There we have... No, that didn't look as bad as I expected. I didn't see it on the blimp cam. It's just, we know he gets the curb. You can see the car bounce off of it. That's a satellite view there. We're trying to give you the best shot we can. I think it's just simultaneous. I think he just gets a little bit of the curb. It just kicks it out towards Grayson just a little bit. And then it's just on from there. Unfortunately, Dylan Bates was just kind of along for the ride, and then he just bounces off a lot of cars as he spins the 91 around. That one was rough.
Well, Josh Cottle did save it. He lost a ton of positions. He's back in the 13th spot now. And that is not good news for Josh Cottle as things are starting to tick away here. Laps are ticking away quickly here. Alex McCollum out front, Cole Cavery, Thomas Axum, Daniel Pope running 4th still. But now Daniel Pope would not be in the playoffs because the guy behind him has 1 bonus point. That's Grayson Ward sitting in the 5th spot. So Daniel Pope now would be out along with Josh Cottle.
Craig Tully in the chat says, good luck 83. That's Chris Roma. He says, wish I could have run tonight. Power outage with a hurricane that rolled through. I don't think they're talking about Caden Fisher's dad, but that's that hurricane, I guess, out in the Gulf already. Is it already making landfall? I didn't think it was quite there.
So here we go, Bill. Time is starting to tick away in this one. We are about 30 laps to go in this one, 32 laps to go. Is Alex McCollum, Cole Cavery still on that front row. Thomas Axum, Daniel Pope in the 2nd row. Grayson Ward now into the 3rd row. Cavery again tried to snooker that restart, and Alex McCollum was having none of it. Made him wait on it. And now the top 4 double file through 1 and 2.
That seemed to hurt Cavery. As Cavery, well, not really, as he's now on the outside. He pokes the nose out in front down the back straightaway. They're going to be side-by-side through 3 and 4. Pope was able to get down again in 3rd, but now gets a shot from Grayson Ward as Ward moves him up the racetrack.
Grayson Ward trying to get around Daniel Pope as Cavery still running on the outside of Alex McCollum. McCollum has not been able to clear this 54 machine, and this is the most pressure Alex McCollum has felt all night for the race lead.
Now McCollum, as Cabry got a little loose off of turn number 4, but turns it down underneath McCollum. McCollum going to shut the door down into turn number 1.
Axum holds on to the 3rd spot. Daniel Pope still in 4th. Trouble for Grayson Ward off turn 2. That's going to allow Josh Parrish to start to put the pressure on Ward. And Ward needs to hold on to that spot because in the 5th position, 1 spot behind Daniel Pope, he would be into the next round of the playoffs.
Cottle trying to make his way back forward. He's back up to the 10th spot after falling back to 13th. I'm pretty sure that he's got his teammate in front of him in the 32 of Trevor Edwards. There'll be team orders there. Trevor not running for a points title or in the points at all.
Alex McCollum trying to run away from Cole Cabry. And I think we had some trouble down the back straightaway as Dylan Bates is around.
Kelsey Rogers, I believe, started with him in the 34. I think Bates was collected. Take a look and see what happened to Kelsey as he went around in turns 3 and 4. I think he might have gotten a shot from Jackson Lewis, and this one looks like... Well, we'll have to take a look at it. I won't make any calls.
Yeah, Kelsey got a little bit of a shot through 3 and 4. He held on to it for a long time. And then off turn 2, that thing started to spin out, and it'll lock her down. Jordan Harnish, nowhere to go, gets involved. Dylan Bates gets turned around.
Yeah, I think he just got, I don't know what happened to cause that one, but just looked like Jackson Lewis went in the corner and just got him. Well, there's a good shot of it.
And that's what we call a C-car don't hate car situation.
Yes.
And I definitely don't want to be hitting guys in the center of the corner. That's a bad spot to do that.
Yes, that was not good.
Caden Fisher going to pick up a lucky dog. He is back on the lead lap in the 25th position.
Take a look at your running order on the left-hand side of your screen. Find your favorite driver, see what position he's in.
Alex McCollum, Cole Cabry, Thomas Axum, Daniel Pope, Grayson Ward, Josh Parrish, AJ Rogers, Parker Traves, Trevor Edwards. From 24th to 9th, been involved in a couple incidents, back up into the top 10 now. Josh Cottle running 10th, Zach Onan 11th, Peyton Howell 12th, Aaron Amendroth, Willie Howells, Rick Rube, your top 15. And again, we keep talking about it, those playoff drivers right now running 1 through 5, and then of course Josh Cottle running 10th. Josh Cottle and Daniel Pope would be out right now. So right now it would be Grayson Ward, Thomas Axum, Cole Cabry, and Alex McCollum racing for the championship, but we still got a lot of laps left, still about 23 to go here. Shout out to Craig Tolley, who said he wanted to race tonight, but a power outage with a hurricane that rolled through, and he was wishing Chris Roma good luck tonight. Hopefully we're going to, all those issues behind Craig Tolley for tomorrow night, because he is part of the playoff group that'll be racing for a championship tomorrow night in the Challenger Series. All right, pace car lights are out. Alex McCollum, Cole Cabry, Thomas Axum, Daniel Pope, Grayson Ward, Josh Parrish, your top 6 runners as they stand right now. McCollum has led every single lap, 104 laps of this one, but still 22 to go now. As we go green flag racing, McCollum back at it again. He's got Cole Cabry cleared into turn 1. Cabry going to slot back in line. And now Axum going to try to get around the 31 of Daniel Pope.
Pope once again caught on the outside. This time it's Grayson Ward on the bottom in the 9. He's not going to give Pope the luck, the opening that Josh Cottle was giving him. So now Pope going to slide back to 5th, but that might work out if we see another caution.
AJ Rogers and Parker Traves having a fun battle back here for the 6th or 7th position as Traves clears AJ Rogers. Here comes Cottle. He's going to take a peek up the inside of the 17 machine. AJ Rogers going to have to give room as I see Rick Rube sideways behind this group. Everybody's going to hold on to it. We're going to stay green flag racing as they're 4 wide down the front straightaway.
Yeah, 4 wide towards the back as Rick Rube is trying to get his car going. Kelsey Rogers sideways once again in 1 and 2. He'll save it in the grass.
Well, that was a wild moment back there.
Absolutely.
AJ Rogers having the 52 machine of Peyton Howell all over his back bumper. He tried to take a peek underneath the 17 machine. AJ shut the door, so Rogers going to hold on to the 10th position now.
Del Mears is out in front of your leaders. I wonder if Del had an issue or maybe came out of the pits in the 1-1-2 as he's out front. So lap traffic might actually play a part here as we haven't had a long enough green flag run to get the lap traffic, but Del clearly having some kind of issues. We'll go yellow once again. So all of what I just said no longer applies.
AJ Rogers turned around in turn 1. He was running in the 10th position and just trouble for the 17 machine.
Something looked like it happened down the straightaway to AJ.
Well, I think
blimp footage.
AJ got a shot through 3 and 4 from the 52 of Peyton Howell. Peyton used the chrome horn to move the 17 out of the way, and I think AJ wasn't very happy with that.
Well, I think there was a message sent loud and clear there. It's short track racing. That's where we're at, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's Martinsville. I mean, isn't this the track that invented the chrome bumper? The chrome horn?
I mean, Peyton came from pretty far back. But don't you just get up behind a guy and try to do the same thing? Instead, turn left in the straightaway.
So AJ Rogers is going to go to the rear of the field there. Peyton Howell involved. And again, that was a battle for the 10th position. And now those two heading to the rear of the field.
Tempers are boiling over, Jeff.
Yeah, it is late in the season. And some of these guys have had run-ins throughout the year. I know there's some drivers that are pretty much fed up with one another at this point in the season. Alex McCollum, Cole Carey, Thomas Axum, Grayson Ward, Daniel Pope, your top 5, Josh Parrish, Parker Traves, Josh Cottle now up to 8th, Trevor Edwards 9th, Zach Onan up into the 10th spot, started 22nd tonight, up to 10th, having a fantastic run. Shout out to Aaron Abendroth now, who's running 11th, and we haven't really talked about Aaron much. The 65 machine's just kind of keeping his nose clean, and he's up into the 11th spot. Willie Howell's behind him, running 12th. Corey Bigley back up to 13th. Jordan Harnish 14th. Peyton Howell fell back to the 15th spot there.
It's like a cement mixer. Just keep it on, and every once in a while you look in and you see where everybody's located. That's kind of what's happening right now. This one has been a rough one, Jeff. It has been a rough one here at Martinsville.
Yes, it has.
Daniel Sweat said earlier in the chat that we had some good crashing this weekend at Martinsville in the heat races, and we certainly did. They wrecked a lot of race cars in the heat races for the Valley Star Credit Union 300. Those are real cars with real money. We do it here in the virtual world and kind of get the same thing.
Yeah. I think when it comes to those late model stock cars, some of those guys have virtual unlimited funds as well.
True. I did speak. I was going to tell you, Jeff. I did speak to Ryan Matthews today. Finished 16th in that race, and he said that while he has a beautiful race car, he said he needed a little bit better engine, a little bit better brake package. Jeff, that's how good some of those race cars are.
Yeah, you said it though. That I saw a picture of his car that Elite Performance Industries shared. That is a cool looking race car. That nice car. As we are getting set to go back, green flag racing. Alex McCollum, Cole Carey, Thomas Axum, Grayson Ward. Those are the 4 guys that would move on to the next round of the playoffs. Race for a championship next week if they finish like they are. But a guy behind him, Daniel Pope, he's going to have something to say about this.
Cole Carey dies at the bottom. The battle's going to be for that 3rd spot. Once again, here comes Daniel Pope to the inside. He's going to look to the inside of Grayson Ward down into turn number 3. Ward didn't give him a break. Daniel Pope's not going to do that either. They'll be side by side through 3 and 4.
They are 3 wide behind him as Jordan Harnish sneaks between Willie Howes, and the caution is going to wave. I saw trouble off turn 4 with Rick Rube getting turned around.
This has got to be absolute frustration as we were watching. 15th on back will not stop running into each other, and the guys up front are just trading positions on restarts and never actually getting to race. I can only imagine how frustrated the guys that are battling for this championship are right now.
Well, it looked like it started around where Eric Tracy was running on the racetrack, and to me, it looks like Eric tried to force the issue and get to the bottom, and he ended up running to the back of the 7 while cutting off the 83 machine. And I think that kind of set that one off there.
What are we talking about? 15th place here? That
would have been about 16th position.
I get it. Everybody wants as much as they possibly can get. I understand. I think everything just stacks in front of them. There's also contact, it looks like, between Peyton Howell gets into the back of Corey Bigley, who pushes him into the back of, it looks like, Willie Howells. And I think that's what stacked up Jackson Lewis and Eric Tracy and Chris Roma. Take a look at that right here. As they go down to the corner, everybody kind of stacks up. Willie Howells had to back up for, well, nobody. He just kind of slowed it down a little bit. Just a stack up. Everybody just fighting for the bottom. As long as everybody fights for the bottom when there is no room for everybody to get to the bottom, that's going to happen.
Yeah, you saw multiple cars make contact down there going into turn 3. I saw the 52 got into the 28, and as the 67. And the thing was, Eric Tracy had a line on the outside. He checked up because he wanted to get to the bottom. And that hole that he had just closed so quickly that he ended up running to the back of the 7 of Jackson Lewis as the 83 was coming.
I think we've talked about him already tonight, Jeff, but Parker Traves, come on with this stuff. Go to the back of the field, drive through this mess of a wreck fest, all the way up to 6th. That is an amazing drive by the driver in the 60. Look how bad that car's beat up, and he's running 6th right now.
Yeah, he's doing a fantastic job. Josh Parrish as well, having a great run, running 7th. He's kept his nose clean all night long in that 55 machine, and he is the fastest guy tonight of those guys that'll be racing on Tuesday. And that is that's got to be a good situation for the 55 of Parrish. You got to feel pretty good going into tomorrow night's race the way he's ran tonight.
Well, Jeff, set the stage. We're looking at playoff drivers. We're about to go into our 5-lap warning. It's kind of like a 2-minute warning in football. You like that?
5-minute or 5-lap warning.
5-lap warning.
Plus any additional overtime, I guess.
Right, sure.
Well, Alex McCollum out front, Cole Cabrey, Thomas Axum, Daniel Pope, Grayson Ward, your top 5, all 5 playoff drivers. Parker Traves, Josh Parrish, your other playoff driver, Josh Cottle, runs 8 on this restart. He's going to need some help to get into this final round as we head to Myrtle Beach next week to settle a championship battle. 4 drivers will move on, but right now it would be McCollum, Cabrey, Axum, and Grayson Ward. Daniel Pope needs one more spot or somebody to get around that 9 machine if he wants to continue on. McCollum is off and away. Cole Cabrey back into the 2nd spot. Thomas Axum 3rd. Here comes Daniel Pope trying to work the outside. Grayson Ward's going to try to get there. They're going to make contact. Pope is there to the bottom. Ward's going to go around the outside now.
Wow, that was insane as they make contact. And Grayson Ward's going to spin and be backwards. That might get Cottle into the playoffs. We have to figure out what happened between as Daniel Pope and Grayson Ward. Pope just threw a Hail Mary as they went down the back straightaways. He just said, I'm coming to the bottom. I don't care. We got to figure out what happened there. And they made it happen. It worked into turn number 3, even with the contact on the back straightaway. But, man.
Yeah, Pope cut across the nose of Grayson Ward. Everybody had it saved. They were side by side going into 3. And Josh Parrish got into the back of the 31. A Pope shot him up the racetrack into Grayson Ward.
Oh, my goodness. Down the back straightaway. That was crazy.
Yeah, Pope was not clear there. They got lucky not to crash there on the back straightaway, and then unfortunately for Grayson Ward, they just end up crashing in turn 3.
And it seems like it's the 55. He comes in, makes contact with the 31. That basically triggers netcode on the 9. And that is absolutely heartbreaking for Grayson Ward. As you can see it as they head down into turn number 3. And that is contact. And that's the oddity of online racing, is that the simulator doesn't know what to do with Daniel Pope as he's getting hit. So it thinks it's going to knock it out into Grayson Ward, and Grayson Ward just takes a massive, just there's nothing that Grayson Ward can do. That car just snaps around.
Yeah, and Grayson Ward, unfortunately, going to go to the rear of the field, and this late, he's going to need something wild to happen up front, because he's going to restart about 23rd position with a green-white checkered finish coming. Alex McCollum, Cole Cabrey, Thomas Axum, Daniel Pope, your top 4. Those would be the 4 moving on to the final round of the championship. Parker Traves running 5th. Josh Cottle will restart 6th. He's going to need some help as well if he wants to make it into that final round at Myrtle Beach coming up next week. It looks like Zach Owen is going to restart 7th. Trevor Edwards 8th. Aaron Abendroth 9th. Corey Bigley back into the top 10 now.
Crazy how the playoffs are an absolute roller coaster, as Grayson Ward was last week's winner. And now he's on the outside looking in from a extreme distance as he is sitting way back in this field.
Well, Bill, we did not complete a lap on that last restart, so this green-white checker is going to be single file, which, if you're one of those guys that was slated to start on the outside, this is a relief for you. And if you're one of those guys that was going to start on the inside, maybe pick up a spot, this is not a good thing for you.
Right. If you're Daniel Pope, let's just say it, Jeff. If you're Daniel Pope, you are extremely happy.
Absolutely. As we get set to go green flag racing, green, white checker, finish McCollum making him wait on it. And everybody's going to kind of stack up here. And we are back underway. Alex McCollum made everybody wait on that one.
And some cars towards the middle actually get side by side as Corey Bigley's going around in turn number 1. He turns Jordan Harness. That's going to bring out another yellow.
Jackson Lewis involved. I saw the 22 of Harnish involved. And I think there might have been some contact from the 52 that sent the 28 and the 22 around.
Something happened that got Jordan Harnish on the outside, and going into turn number 1. Well.
Yeah, I think the 52 of Peyton Howell got in the back of Corey Bigley, sent Corey up into the 22. The 28 went around, caught the 7. And basically 3 cars got turned around there in turn 1.
There was a huge stack up for some reason right around where Zach Onan is on the restart. Oh, I know what it is again, Jeff. You're going to see Cole Cabrey pull to the inside. That makes Axum go. And everybody stacks up. You can see it here. We're going to watch it one last time. You go to the inside and see all the cars packing up behind them, bouncing off each other. And they end up too wide and just, it's a mess. Everybody trying to jump the restart. Unfortunately, Jeff, we've watched Cole Cabrey do that probably at least three times tonight. Where he's not following or starting at the proper time. He went to the inside of McCollum through 3 and 4.
Yeah, and that was not a great restart there because, Alex did what he needed to do, which was not start the race if the 54 is going to have a run at him. And unfortunately, everybody else sees the 54 move, and then they start moving, and it just ends up stacking everybody up, and that's kind of what caused all that chaos heading down into turn 1.
Then Cole Cabrey's defense. That sounds like I was taking a shot at him. he's also thinking, if I don't do this, then somebody behind me is going to do this, and I'm going to lose third. I'm going to lose second. So he's defending as well as trying to be offensive. There's no way he's really going to get a restart better than Alex McCollum. It's almost impossible, especially when you're single file. But he's also thinking that Thomas Axel's going to try to get a jump on him so he can take second to get a shot at Alex McCollum. So he's doing it in defense probably more than he's doing it on offense. But at the same time, if you don't follow that car in front of you, that's what you're going to see at these restarts. We've seen it all night long.
Alex McCollum still leads this as we are past the 126 laps scheduled. We're going to be looking for our second green-white checkered finish. We will have 3 attempts at it if need be. And it will be a single file restart this time. Bill, I can tell you Grayson Ward has left the server. He is going to finish 23rd tonight. Willie Howes has finished, he is going to finish 24th tonight. 22 cars still on the lead lap. Heartbreaker for Grayson Ward, who had a chance to race for the championship next week, and just a late race incident there brings it all to an end.
All I can do is shake my head. Feel terrible for the 9 driver. That's unfortunate for Grayson Ward.
Well, here we go. Green flag is back out for Alex McCollum. Cavery got sideways, and that is going to let Alex McCollum drive away from the 54 machine.
And that's kind of the restart we were talking about, but Thomas Axel not able to do anything with Cole Cavery as he's going to follow him through 1 and 2. The front 6 cars have kind of broken away. Alex McCollum going to come around for the white flag.
McCollum going to see the white flag this time as Cottle is putting the pressure on Parker Traves. Tried to move the 60 machine out of the way last time by for the 5th spot. Not able to get there. McCollum out front, setting sail on the 54.
McCollum is gone. 4 or 5 car lengths on Cole Cavery. Axel not able to do anything with Cavery as well. McCollum off of turn number 4, and he will be your second winner of the Daniel Williamson 126 here at Martinsville. We've got a wreck in the back. Parker Traves around. I think he lost a couple of spots at the end there. I think that was Josh Cottle just trying to get everything he possibly could. Cottle will come home 5th, but unfortunately for the 13 car, I think that's going to catch him out of the playoffs. As Axel giving Alex McCollum congratulations, beats the fender on the 8 car.
So Alex McCollum going to move on to the final round of the playoffs. He will race for a championship next week after winning the Daniel Williamson Memorial 126. Cole Cavery going to come home 2nd. He'll race for a championship. Thomas Axum comes home 3rd. He'll race for a championship. And Daniel Pope finishes 4th. He will also race for a championship next week at Myrtle Beach, our final race of the season for the Elite Performance Industries Late Model Shootout Series. Josh Cottle going to come home 5th and just miss it by 1 spot.
I think we just saw Del Mere's way of giving Alex McCollum a high five as he slammed into him as he was sitting on the front straightaway. Alex doing a little bit of a donut, brings it back to the front straightaway. So we take a look at that 8 car.
Well, Bill, that was a little bit crazier than we expected there, wasn't it?
That one was a pretty rough and tumble race, Jeff. I don't want to say I'm disappointed, but I'm disappointed. That was way worse than I would have anticipated here at Martinsville. Guy, all night long, everybody just fighting for the bottom, and well, I mean, there was a lot of beating and banging, and unfortunately, a lot of cars ended up wrecked, a lot of feelings hurt, and 4 guys moving on to next week.
Well, one of those drivers that's going to be racing for a championship next week at Myrtle Beach joins us now. Our race winner tonight, the winner of the Daniel Williamson Memorial 126, Alex McCollum joins us. And Alex, you didn't really get to see much of the action tonight because you were out front. You led every single lap, even the additional ones we threw at you there at the end.
Yeah, let's just say I'm glad I stood up front this race and not where I was at 5 flags. Let's just say that.
Well, we've called you the Dominator before, Alex, and tonight you definitely lived up to that billing as you were just out front all night long. Set the International Short Track Racing Association Quick Time Award, $7 bonus that goes with that, and then just drove away from the field. How did the setup feel? Did it feel good, or did you feel like if you had gotten any kind of long run, you'd have been able to hang on all night long?
Honestly, it fit my driving style, so I was like, let's go green flag runs, let's go, because it just kept loosening up, and usually the setups get tight, so I'm like, I was ready to roll. This thing was actually damn near perfect.
Well, Alex, you really didn't have a whole lot of pressure, but you had your friends, your teammates there behind you. Was there any working together at all to try to keep you guys in the top 3 and try to keep everybody else at bay and make sure you guys were all going to be racing for a championship next week?
Yeah, well, unfortunately, Cole ditched me, so I had to get payback and when I'm up tonight, but that's all right. We're still friends. Axum, P3, that's good. Pope, top four. I'd say our top four is pretty stacked. Tonight was pretty wild though. Not a lot of green flag laps. Kind of disappointed. I like Martinsville, but all that matters is we're locked in. So see where it goes from there.
Well, let's talk about that, Alex. Next week, headed to Myrtle Beach for the championship race. How do you feel about your chances going in at this point? It's kind of just up for grabs. It's the top four, wherever you guys qualify. It's just heads up. Whoever finishes in front of the other three. How do you feel about winning the title and taking the title back from Thomas Axum?
Yeah, I know. Everybody's gonna go on hard next week. So um, honestly, it's try to do the same what I did tonight. Get the pole, lead all the laps, and go for the win. Because I know those guys will be 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's honestly a must-win situation when you're in a series like this.
Well, I gotta wonder, was there a lot of pressure coming into tonight? We saw you made a fantastic qualifying lap. You were faster in qualifying than you were in practice. Was there a lot of pressure on you to qualify up front and make sure you had the best chance tonight?
Uh, yeah. I knew track position was gonna be key. So I just went all out for qualifying. Just had to hit my marks, and luckily I hit a full time. So honestly, that saved me a lot of stress during the race. So didn't have much of a headache through the race.
Yeah, you definitely got to stay out of the mess behind you. But Alex, every week we have we talk to you every once in a while, and usually you have a pretty good list of people you want to thank. So who do you want to give a shout out to tonight?
Yeah, I gotta thank you guys for putting the series on. It's always a blast to come race on Monday nights. Got nothing to do, so let's keep it rolling. But gotta thank JDR Graphics, LMR, uh, Elite. You guys, I don't know. I gotta get used to my interviews. I fell off the sea a little bit here,
Need a
but
list, Alex. We got to write it down.
I don't know. I think I need to go get some ice cream and tacos. I don't know. But yeah, just everybody that helps out. It's I don't know.
I'm
My
going to
interview's
send you a
done.
whiteboard. I'm going to send you a whiteboard that's right next to your simulator. You just write down who you want to talk about that night.
Yeah, I'm gonna start taking notes.
Right, exactly.
Well, Alex, congratulations tonight. The Daniel Williamson 126. I got to ask. I don't know if you had the pleasure of racing with Daniel at all, and if you happen to know him, but for those of us that did, this is a huge race, and I'm glad to see somebody get the win and do it in an honorable way, which was pretty much dominate what Daniel used to do to us, which start out front and dominate the whole thing.
Yeah, Daniel was actually a good friend of mine. He honestly helped me out in the late models for a little bit when I kind of first started. So yeah, I mean it sucks what happened, but to be able to get a win for him tonight's pretty great. So this one's definitely for him, and honestly gonna go for it again for the championship and do it for him.
Well,
Well,
Alex,
Alex,
great. I'll take it, Jeff. Go ahead. Great drive tonight, bud. And of course, we'll see you next week at Myrtle Beach, where you shoot for, I believe it'll be is it your third late model shootout series championship?
Uh,
It's at least your second. We know you're a past champion.
I know I have one. I think I only have one.
Okay, so it'll be to try to get your second late model shootout series title next week at Myrtle Beach. Should be exciting, and we'll see you there.
Sir.
well, now joining us, second place finisher tonight, Cole Cabry. And Cole, we had some doubts whether you were even going to make it tonight. Well, when we last talked to you Monday night, you weren't sure you were going to be able to make it. You showed up and you had a fantastic run. You're going to race for a championship next week. That's going to feel pretty good, right?
Yeah, 100%. I've lost some confidence in myself it seemed like last 3 weeks I've had a problem with, just getting up to the front and staying up there and, keeping my nose out of trouble. But we decided to show up as a race car driver this week and put it on the box.
Looked like you had a lot of speed tonight, Cole, but we were watching some of those restarts. So a little bit, I almost say a few questionable restarts where you're trying to find a way to get around Alex. Was it that you were trying to get around him, or you were just kind of playing defense on Axum?
Well, I kind of figured that Tom was laying it easy on the start. I mean, we all know Martinsville's, we want to be on the bottom, and starting third's not a bad spot. So I kind of knew I had a safe spot to fall back into and ride in second. So my only shot at beating Alex was on a restart, and I was trying to get in his head a little bit by jumping the starts, and I almost had him one time, but I didn't get him, obviously.
Well, you talked about it, track position so important here, and that meant qualifying was such a big deal. And you guys came out of the box firing. You qualified in the top 5, and did you feel like that was going to be good enough to start 5th, or were you looking for a little bit more?
Saying that the whole playoff, guys, it kind of looks like a NASCAR playoff. We're all top 5. I mean, even from last week, top 6. So, I mean, honestly, I was kind of more nervous just coming into this one, just trying to make it to that final round. That's all I wanted to do, is just make it to the final round and keep my name in it, and at least come back. I really wanted this one tonight. Like I said, the last couple of weeks been a struggle. I haven't been up here in a while, so feels good to get back on the podium and try to go for it next week.
Well, you had the nerves tonight, Cole, and you're a seasoned veteran. You were here in the playoffs last season, but you were nervous tonight. How is it going to be going into Myrtle Beach next week? Is it a lot of jitters going into that race?
It sounds pretty odd, but honestly, no. I mean, we made it there. We raced all season to get to this point, and I mean, worst I'm gonna finish is 4th, and I'm gonna take nothing less than a win. So, if I can get to the lead, and maybe, I mean, everyone knows that these cars have bumpers and doors for a reason. I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna probably throw some to try to get the win and get the championship. But if not, I mean, I'm probably gonna be in the infield somewhere.
Well, you said it. I mean, these cars have bumpers and doors for a reason, and it seemed like you and Alex and Thomas, you guys played pretty nice tonight, and it didn't seem like you guys were really pushing the issue. You all kind of knew you were in a good spot to make it, but when it comes down to a championship, I mean, it's pretty much every man for himself, right?
Oh, 100%. Like you said, I mean, I guarantee you that race, if this was the race for the championship, it would have ran totally different. I don't even know if I would be second. Probably wouldn't even be in the top 10. I would have definitely tried to give something to Alex, and Tom would have definitely tried to give something to me. So, everyone is gonna. It's going to be definitely, I think it's going to be a little rough next week, and it's going to be calm for the most part. And then, once we get into the later stage of the race next week, it's cars are going to get beat up.
So I want to know, Cole, how you're feeling about Myrtle Beach. Obviously, you're going to come in with your elbows up, but last season our final race was at North Wilkesboro, so we've switched it to Myrtle Beach this season. And how, you did well last season, obviously making the Final Four. Didn't get that championship. Do you feel like you have a better shot racing at Myrtle Beach? Do you like that track more than Wilkesboro?
Personally, I do, but I know Alex is really good there. Well, which I think he's good everywhere, but Myrtle Beach he really likes that place. So I don't know, those turtles on the inside love my oil pan, so I'm gonna have to stay off those and just try to make it to the end.
Well, Cole, before we let you go tonight, is there anybody you want to thank, anybody you want to shout out to help you get to this spot where you're going to be racing for a championship next week?
Definitely. Everyone a part of this group in the zone, just Pope, everyone, Parker. I know I've gotten in a few incidents with the boys, but I mean, Alex, Tom, everyone that just comes along and race on Monday nights, just make it a fun night to get away and have some fun sim racing.
All right, cool. Thanks so much for taking the time to talk with us. We're going to let you go, and congratulations on being one of those championship 4.
Thank you, man.
Nice job, Cole.
Thank you.
Well, now joining us, our reigning defending champion, and he's going to race for another one next week at Myrtle Beach. Thomas Axum comes home 3rd tonight, locks himself into the Final 4. Thomas, that's going to feel pretty good, right?
Yeah, it definitely feels good. I wish I had a little bit more, but definitely can't complain about being there for the final race of the season.
Well, Thomas, it's your kingdom. We saw the comments. You're ready to be the guy that hangs onto this title going into Myrtle Beach. You're going to be there. You're in the top 4. You made it. So how do you feel going into the next race?
Yeah, I know that's a lot of strong suits for a lot of guys, but again, defending series champion, not one season, but two.
Two-time
We're
defending
here for
series.
the 3, because that's the only thing that's cooler than 2. And then once we get to 3, we're gonna go for 4 and tie Mr. El Jefe over here. But I'm going into next week with a full head of steam. I had a nice P3 tonight. I knew I had a couple points ahead of everyone, so I just needed a nice clean finish. But all in all, it was a clean race. I had some fun when we got to do racing. I ran my fastest lap on the white flag, so that's not awesome, but I got to figure some stuff out, and everyone knows who's going to be there next week, and I hope everyone shows up because the 013 will be.
Well, Thomas, heading into Myrtle Beach, I gotta wonder because we've heard from Cole and Alex and stuff that you guys all kind of played nice tonight. There wasn't a lot of aggressive racing up front. You guys, you knew you were in a good spot, and you just needed to be in those 4 positions, and you'd be racing for a championship. But next week, it's every man for himself. So, how do you approach that when you've raced with these guys all season long? You've been friends, you've worked together, and now the gloves kind of have to come off with one another, right?
Yeah, the gloves have been off, but you do have to race smart because I could have went to second on this race tonight, passing Cole, and on a restart I could have fell back to 5th or 6th and been right out of the playoffs. So tonight was definitely just a safe night. Tonight was just the battle. Next week will be the war, and I will be coming for him. But playing nice tonight. Next week we'll be playing nice, but a little bit different.
Well, Thomas, so you know, when we talked to Cole Cabry, he said that next week his elbows are up, that they put fenders and doors on these cars for a reason. Are you going in with the same mindset for the championship?
Yeah, you gotta just be in a clean spot. Like when you're around certain people, there's no issues. They know that there's an outside line, there's an inside line. When you're gonna run one, I'll run the other, no problems. But sometimes people just take more than they chew more than they can bite, whatever the saying is, and then that's the leads to the issues. But when you're around respectful people like these guys in the points, Daniel Pope, he's been a quiet name all season. Look at him in the Final 4. That's definitely a great guy who I'd like to be battling with for the points. McCollum and Cole, you have no issues being around them. But if I have the chance to move them for a victory, I will definitely be doing so. If that's what the question is.
Well, Thomas, before we let you go tonight, is there anybody you want to thank that's helped you get to this point where you're going to be racing for a championship next week?
Yeah, let's get these out there with Bernier's Liquors, Peter Bernier, Studios 10 Designs, RS Center, RKM Setup Shop. Check him out for any iRacing setup needs. And just myself, I've been out here for the last 2 seasons, and I'm going for a 3rd one. I have a title, and I'm going to defend it.
All right, Thomas, thanks so much for taking the time to talk with us. Congratulations, and we can't wait to see you run next week.
Thanks, guys. See you in 7 days.
Great run, Thomas.
And Bill, we don't usually talk to our 4th place finisher, but tonight Daniel Pope finishes 4th. He's going to move on to the final round. He's going to be one of those 4 drivers that races for a championship. Daniel, did you know how tight it was throughout that race? That, I mean, between you and Grayson Ward, it was coming down to one spot.
Yeah, I knew I was heads up with Grayson and Josh, and I knew I had to beat them. So I had to be as aggressive as I could possibly be without doing anything silly. And it just happened to work out.
Well, Daniel, we talked to you last week after the race, and you said that the racing in the playoffs is absolutely nerve-wracking. Did you feel like that all? I mean, you were battling for the bottom all night long, right on the edge of that final playoff spot. Did you feel like you had nerves all night long during the race?
I felt like the slowest person there. We had the NASCAR style race where all the playoff cars were running up front, and then I qualified 9th. So I was like, well, this ain't starting out well. But then I think somebody got the curb early and worked me up to 5th and worked me up to 4th. And I'm pretty sure the 13 of Josh was trying to play some strategy. I think he was letting me in through a majority of the middle of the race to try to stay 5th, so he didn't have to worry about losing the bottom, because we had AJ Rogers and a couple other the superior drivers behind me. So he knew the point situation, and he knew if he had restarted 4th and I got him shuffled out and pinned him up there and slid him back to 8th or 9th, that it would take him out of the championship. So I think that helped a lot, because the cautions were just a lot, and the lack of green flag laps really helped with the situation I was in, and then working me, let me down. And then, unfortunately, they all got in a wreck. And then Grayson come up there, and I knew I was heads up with Grayson. We swapped the spot a couple times, and then my little virtual spotter said clear, made that aggressive move, and then we wound up getting in that little netcode incident down 3 and 4. So, yeah, it's intense. I never would have made that hard left like that on a normal race, but it's 5 to go, playoff spot on the line. Got to take a chance.
Well, Daniel, a lot of people listening probably, they're not going to understand maybe some of this, but when we talk to you all season long, it's been, oh, I'm getting older, I'm slowing down, I'm not as fast as these guys, I'm not as good as these guys anymore. And here you are, you're one of the top 4 that are going to run for the championship. You got a little age, you got a little experience on them. Maybe you don't have the raw speed that, Alex McCollum has right now, but do you feel like you got a leg up on them just because you've been here so many times? You've raced for championships with ITZR for so long that just the experience alone in high pressure situations going to give you an edge?
I wouldn't say I have a leg up. I think speed's going to matter as much as experience or racecraft. And the 3 guys I'm going up against are 3 of the fastest guys in super late model racing, no matter what league they're in. And I know that my back's up my back's up against the wall. I'm probably the least favorite to go do it, but we're gonna do the best we can. We're gonna run with them, try. Last year, I got eliminated at Myrtle Beach. I didn't have the speed to run with them, and I ran 8th or 9th. So I definitely gotta get that old man thing going that you're talking about, and try to get up on the wheel next week and make something happen.
Well, Daniel, we've always talked about how when you are sick, you're faster. So maybe next week, maybe something, pick up a cold this week or something that you could.
Well, I had a cold last week at Five Flags and ran 3rd or 4th
Right.
in advanced. I qualified good, and then I'm healthy this week when we show up in Martinsville, and I qualified 9th. So maybe there's something to that. I don't know. I don't know if it just changes my care or what. It makes me drive different, but I want to go into next week healthy, and whatever the outcome will be, I feel privileged to make it. I really honestly didn't have confidence that I would be able to beat Josh or Grayson. They're both really fast, and I think they're probably a little bit better than me right now in this sim, but sometimes good things happen.
Well, Daniel, but I was kind of wondering here with the Thursday night, the Sarah race that we're going to be covering. You guys have this open setup deal on Thursday night, and that's a lot of racing and a lot going on. You guys have to prepare for a championship race on Monday night after running on Thursday night, this open setup deal. How are you guys going to find the time to kind of work on all of this that you got going on this week?
Honestly, I'm not sure. I haven't run the first lap of testing for Thursday night yet. I put my focus in tonight to working on this and thinking about this, and got in here early first thing in practice. I guess tomorrow or Wednesday I'll work on the Thursday race and try to give the guys there the best I can give them to compete. I know Parker's still got a decent shot at a good points finish, and so we'll do the best we can with that, and then we'll get ready for Monday night again throughout the weekend.
Well, Daniel, I want to ask you one more question about next week. Both Cole Cabry and Thomas Axum said they're going to be racing with their elbows up. Axum not as much, but Cole Cabry definitely said he's willing to use the bumper, willing to use the fenders, willing to use the doors to win the championship. Do you go in with that same mindset when you feel like you're not quite the quickest guy, but maybe use a little bit more physicality to get those guys out of the way?
I will definitely drive more aggressive than I normally do. I'll take more chances than I normally do. I mean, I got nothing to lose. I'm going in as the number 4 seed. I'm going to finish 4th in points regardless. If I can't get up there and race with them and compete on raw speed, I'm going to be smart and try to hope that they get together and just be in the right opportunity, maybe take advantage of a mistake or a slip up or a contact point where then I can become really aggressive and maybe make something happen.
Well, Daniel, before we let you go, is there anybody you want to thank, anybody you want to shout out that's helped you along this season?
Yeah, I mean, I always say this, and I want to thank him again. Kent Hunley, Shot Guy, they make the setups for this league, and he does it. Little people don't know he does it for free, and he gives all the money back that comes into the league. And He gives us a great setup every week to race, and he does it for a lot of people, a lot of leagues, a lot of different people around the sim, and what he does is just it's really cool to have people like him, and I want that to be the main shout out here.
Well, yeah, thank you so much to Kent Hunley and, of course, Shocked Eye Racing 12 who brought this race to us tonight. And I know this one particularly for you, I mean, Daniel Williamson, this is a special race. This is a special race for all of us. And I mean, I'm sure when you're running fourth there, you want to win this one, right? I mean, this is one that everybody's going to want.
Yeah, me and Daniel were teammates for a while, and we were friends for longer. He's one of those people that it really made an impact on me and the people that I meet in iRacing. He actually, little known fact, he's the one that brought me and Dylan Bates together. That has been a friendship for a long time, and even when Daniel left our team, me and Dylan stayed together, and we've basically become like really good iRacing buddies, and he's the reason for that. So I mean, winning this race, trying to get in this race, or even having this race, I really, really think it's something we need to do every year, and it's something I'm going to continue to do. He was a very good guy, and he's sorely missed by a lot of people in the iRacing community.
Well, Daniel, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us, and of course for your words about Daniel Williamson. I'm sure everybody out there that's watching that new Daniel really does appreciate that, and as we said, this is gonna be a part of ITZR for a long time, because most of us remember racing with Daniel. He was one of those guys that his name was kind of synonymous with ITZR. When you came to race late model shootout series, you knew you're gonna have to beat Daniel Williamson.
He's actually the reason that I came to ITZR. Y'all were having a series back in the day, a little flashback for the people that are still listening. It was like a pro series, kind of with the late model stock cars, and y'all had owners and they hired drivers. And Daniel actually hired me to drive his car, and me and him worked on setups together, and I wound up winning the championship for him. So, good times, good man, good friend, and like I said, I know everybody misses him, and I hope his family is doing well.
Absolutely. Thank you, Daniel, for taking the time to talk with us. We can't wait to see you next week. That is going to be an absolute fun battle next week at Myrtle Beach, and that is the SD Ireland Cancer Research Fund 125 from the Myrtle Beach Speedway. I mean, I can't wait to get that going. Like, can we just skip to next Monday right now?
I need a break.
Great run, Daniel. We'll see you next week in Myrtle Beach.
See you, man.
Well, Bill, that is going to do it for us tonight. It was a rough and tumble night at Martinsville, the Daniel Williamson Memorial 126. We didn't get the fantastic racing we were expecting up front, and that was because of a lot of crashing going on in the middle of the field. And I think going into that championship race, we're going to have a little bit of a talk with some of these guys towards the back that, hey, right now the series isn't about you guys. It's about settling this championship, and you guys got to let these guys race it out.
It was a tough night. I think it was a tough night for everybody, and it just happens. It happens some nights. It feels like we've talked about it before. Cautions breed cautions, and some nights the guys put their helmets on. They're virtual helmets, Jeff, not the real ones. If there's guys racing in helmets, then we know why they're running into things. But you can't see out of those things. But I feel like they just get in these cars, and some nights it just feels like it's like a cascading effect. You see one wreck, you see two, you see three, you see four, and it just keeps all the cars together, and everybody's trying to get everything they can. And if you feel like there's going to be a lot of cautions, you're fighting for the bottom, and it makes it really tough. And I think that just kind of compounds the issue. And we saw that tonight here at Martinsville. Hopefully tomorrow night we see a different race from the guys in the Late Model Challenger Series. But unfortunately, the Shootout Series didn't have a great night tonight. But we'll see how well we do next week at Myrtle Beach.
Absolutely. And tomorrow night, the County Road Custom Late Model Challenger Series, 6 drivers going to be going for the 4 championship spots at Myrtle Beach in that series. We'll have all that action tomorrow night, live at 9 p.m. Eastern, live on our Facebook, live on YouTube, live on Twitch. And of course, Thursday night, we've got more racing, the Sarah Super Series Open Setup Super Late Model Racing from the Bull Ring. That is the Race 1 Wraps 175. So plenty more racing action coming at you. Make sure you're following us on Facebook at In the Zone Racing. You can always find us on our website, inthezoneracing.com. Make sure you join us tomorrow night. Still, one more set of drivers to race for the championship will be decided tomorrow night. We will see you there.